Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the June 1st, 2022 Planning Board meeting for the town of Waterboro. Angela, if you could do roll call, please.
James Farias. Clyde Smith.
Here.
Lori Anthony.
Here.
Rebecca Higgins.
Present.
Diane Gray.
Here. With that, we're only missing one. We have a quorum, so we can have our meeting. First thing on the agenda is, the second thing on the agenda are the minutes of the previous meetings. If there is no issues with the board, I'd like to move those to the end of the meeting.
Sure. Agree.
Agreed.
Yeah. So we will do those following miscellaneous. The third thing on the public hearing, which we will address next, is a public hearing for Girard Farms, and that was a conditional use. I'd like to open the public hearing with a brief description from either Rene or our planner.
Hi. I'm the owner and farmer.
If you could come up to the mic and just give a brief description of what you were planning.
So my name is Josh Girard. I'm the owner and farmer at Girard Farm. We are an organic vegetable farm that grows 40 different vegetables. We have a flock of laying hens, and we are looking to complete our 5th greenhouse and get our conditional use permit so that we can continue operation.
And
We've been there for 3 years now.
Yeah, and as I understand it, the reason you're in front of us is because there was a miscategorization on your previous...
Yeah, the general purpose zone, it's allowed to have livestock, but horticultural uses were conditional, so...
So that's why you're here. Thank you. Does code enforcement or the planner have anything additional before we get the public to speak?
Nothing new.
No. Is there anyone in the public who would like to speak on this item? Okay. Seeing there is no members of the public wanting to speak, I will then close the public hearing. All set. The next order of business, item 4, Girard Farms is up again for discussion by the board on accepting his application. Anything further from you two on this? Recommendations?
The code office recommends you approve the conditional use. He has been there for a number of years. It was just very simply a miscategorization. So I think he should be allowed to continue his current usage of what he's been doing.
Town planner?
Yep, I concur with that.
I think I read that with you. This, to me, is a formality. How does the rest of the board feel? Comments?
We should move forward, yes.
Yep.
I need a motion to approve this application.
Yeah.
I have a motion from Clyde. Anybody would like to second that motion?
A second motion.
And a vote, please. All in favor? Oh, I need a motion to vote? No, I don't.
No.
Yeah. All right, okay, all right. All in favor? 5-0, Angela.
Yep. Here's one.
Thank you very much.
Good luck. Old business. Again, our second item under old business is Clark's Bridge Crossing. This is a preliminary plan application, correct?
They're actually okay. This
is that, Mayor?
You knew I needed that one. Who's representing, this project?
Right here, Dana Libby.
All right, does the town planner want to go first, or?
I would let them present it.
Okay.
Give you some room if needs.
Is that?
All set?
All right, my name's Dana Libby from Corner Post Land Surveying, representing Jackson Drysdale. Owner Mark Patterson behind me. With me tonight also is Jason from Atlantic Resource Consultants to answer any of your engineering concerns. This is pretty much the same layout that was here at sketch plan. There's 12 lots, 5 lots at front Route 5, 7 lots at front Clark Bridge Road. All the wetlands have been mapped and shown on the plan. There's been a vernal pool study done, completed as well, and there are no vernal pools on the property. The sheet 1 of the subdivision plan is an easement and buffer plan that shows the drainage easements and proposed street buffers. All the lots have been soil tested, and there's been a nitrate impact study completed on the property. That's shown on sheet 2. So the nitrate impact study showing the nitrate plumes for all the lots, and we've shown all the setbacks for the wells. All the lots here will utilize the overhead utilities along Route 5 and Clark's Bridge Road, both of which are on the same side of the road as in the back. Clark's Bridge Road is across. There's a couple of cross poles that access the front of Clark's Bridge Road. We're also proposing an open space lot in the middle. All lots will have access to, direct access to. Once again, the lots on Route 5 there'll be 2 shared driveways, the lots 8 through 11. A single driveway for lot 7. All of the driveways have received their DOT entrance permits. And then the single-family homes along Clark's Bridge Road will all have individual driveways as well. All the site distances have been measured at the driveways and exceed the minimum standards. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it for the presentation. If you have any questions, you have to answer them.
I have a question. All of the driveway permits you said on Route 5,
Yes,
those are all received?
yes, we have all the
I
driveway
see
permits.
these 3 here. Okay, so we're just... All right, so we're talking about the driveways on Clark Bridge. I see the DOT now. All right.
I have one concern. One of your nitrate plumes goes on the other property.
Mm-hmm.
Is that allowed?
if that's a problem, then I'm sure we can get an easement from the owners of the,
Well, I'm just not
Storage
sure where, I don't remember where their well is, that's all.
oh, no, their well is, that's Placed it's way over here.
Oh, okay, all right.
And it doesn't impact any of the buildings.
Okay. Who's gonna enforce your deed restrictions?
The deed restrictions have to be enforced by the individual subdivision, all the landowners. So, you know, what we try and do is put deed restrictions, in fact, we have a case right now from one I did about 25 years ago where the guy's a hoarder in a big way. And so what it is you first go to the town and say, is this guy meeting the town standards for, you know, outside show and tell or whatever. If he is, but it still looks messy, I mean, our deed restrictions often say you can't have a trash can that's not shielded from the road. And this guy's got nothing but trash all over it, but that's a civil matter that has to be, the homeowners association has to get together and enforce it.
Oh, so there's gonna be a homeowners association with this?
Well, I don't, is there a HOA? No, there's no common maintenance.
There's no
so-
common maintenance.
No, it's merely the group of all the deed owners, the deeded landowners, having to get together and file a civil suit on it. Obviously, while we're, you know, involved in it, we will ensure that people are doing what the ordinance, what the deed restrictions are.
There's a drainage easement, and I believe there's an easement for one lot to access the open space. So there's the drainage easement, if one neighbor messes up to affect the other neighbor, it would be between the two of them to solve.
Right, it would be the two of them that have to,
It's self.
similar if you put your fence on somebody else's property or something like that.
Okay. Anybody else?
My only concern, and we talked about this at the beginning, is all these driveways. All these driveways on Clark's Bridge.
Well, once again, we've performed all the site visits on these. These all exceed the site distance standards.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's got permits for the state roads. So.
I say that DOT permits is still a concern for a traffic flow there.
Does CEO have anything to add?
I too have some reservations, just the amount of driveways in that short distance, along with the previously approved safe storage facility, that's going to increase traffic in this intersection as well. Just something for the board to take into consideration.
How many driveways do we have coming in here? Just the one. The one.
Oh, we're having sprinklers, I saw stormwater. In your pre and post watershed, was the pre or the post considering the development?
Jason answer that. He's the engineer.
Good morning.
Hi, Jason.
Jason Affiatis, Atlantic Resource Consultant. Yeah, so we responded to the memo provided to us by the town planner. We did look at the plans for the previously approved storage facility. It doesn't change our project at all. We looked at everything within our property lines. They looked at everything within their property line. And so our direction of flow, they considered our property when they did theirs. We considered that. So there's no effect from either project.
Okay, so there's 2 lots on Clark Bridge Road, and it's just seen from the contours that we can go towards.
Yep, it's going towards it, but if you can think back this far, so when you look at the the self-storage project, they actually made a diversion ditch on the property line, which carries any drainage, what formerly would have been pass-through drainage onto their property, down to their driveway culvert, under their new driveway entrance. And then
Well, that
that culvert
crosses-
routes it all the way down where it was going anyway. So they're just rerouting the drainage.
Okay, and these guys on Sokokis Trail are not gonna have hardly no impact?
No, that all actually flows right on the property line down to the
Yeah.
Route 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Town planner, would you like to, have any recommendations you'd like to?
The only other thing was there was a letter in there from Mark Hampton Associates, and it referenced the town of Harrison zoning ordinance. I don't think you want that in the final plan set.
And I think we'll have that revised.
Yeah. And then other than that, I mean, you can find the application complete and schedule either a site walk or public hearing if you like.
Does the board have any final comments?
Did you, and Jason Champion, DPW, he's got his letter in here and his concerns, as far as Clark's Bridge crossing as well.
That has to go to Dave, like to get that to Dana. Jason drafted it the last minute today, so you haven't seen that yet, Dana.
So, is it a butter letter?
No, that's, Director of Public Works,
Oh,
just
okay.
culvert issues and,
He can have it, and I'll share hers.
Thank you.
This is stuff that can be taken care of in our.
Yes.
The cross culvert he really wants replaced, some more drainage issues all these driveways, he listed up every single driveway.
Okay. He went out there, right? Oh, okay, he went, because the last development was the culvert down here, which he was kind of okay. Okay.
As far as the type of homes, did we already, I know we discussed that a little bit
I don't
last
know.
time.
Yeah, I'll let Mark address that. There's just culvert sizes for the driveways.
Oh, culvert size, okay. Yeah, I mean, what we traditionally have been building is, 900 to 1,800 square foot colonials, ranches, that type of thing, some with garages, some without. What we've been seeing over the past 5 years is that we're building more retirement homes than we are building homes for people with kids. I know we had a project over in Alfred, we got approved 7 years ago, 19 lots, and I was just talking with the HOA the other day, and they were concerned that we were gonna flood the schools with young children and drive the cost of education up, and there are 8 children out of 19 houses. And that's traditionally what we've been finding, is it's more of a, that type of thing. Either that or people, the kids aren't even having children until they're wickedly, they're 35 years old before they're having children. So I would say it's probably gonna be a combination of ranches with garages, and the most popular house we have for families is about a 1,500 square foot colonial. Some with, some without the garages, depending on whether they can afford to push it that far.
It just would be nice not to have 5 of the same house.
One of the things that we do in most neighborhoods, if the lots allow it, is that we require them, if people are side by side, that they do something different. So if one is, provided we don't have setback issues, we had one subdivision, we did 3 lots along the river in Sanford. The building envelope was so tight we couldn't even put a porch on the front of it. But typically what we'll do, we've got a project over in Finch Landing and Wells. You know, somebody wants a colonial, we'll say, okay, you've got to put a farmer's porch on yours. If you want this house, you've got to make a change. Because we don't allow them to do the same color either. They have to do a different color.
Any other comments or questions from the board? Can I have a motion to find the application complete?
Make a motion for the application complete.
Rebecca made the motion. Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
Clyde seconded it. By show of hands, can I have a vote in favor of?
I reluctantly will hold my vote.
Reluctantly, yes?
No.
Oh, no, okay.
Yeah, I want to look at this. I know that you've done all your work on Clark's Bridge. I want to look at this more in depth. I don't think it's right with the storage unit and the traffic coming down there. The application might be complete, but I have an issue with the driveways here.
4-0, majority wins. The application has been found complete. Now we need to schedule a site walk, if the board feels one is necessary. I want a site walk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Want to do this for the next meeting?
Yeah.
What do you need now?
We're looking at the 29th for that one.
Okay.
You can hold your public hearing the same night.
Well, yeah. All right, so, and the next available slot is what, when is it?
June 29th.
29th.
Your site walk at,
There's no planning board, that's not a regular meeting. You want to,
we can utilize
you
it.
can utilize
Yeah.
that, okay? As long as everybody can make it.
Site
How about
walk
a
at
time?
5:30, 5, I don't know what you guys can,
What's a good time for everybody during daylight hours?
Yeah, 1700 works for me.
That would be different. So 5 works good for Clyde, but how many people can make 5?
I can make that.
I can be fine. Yeah, I can be.
Okay, 5 o'clock's fine, Angela.
okay.
And we'll be holding the public hearing right afterwards at 6:30.
Yep.
So what would you like to see for the sidewalk?
I'm gonna be interested in where the drainages are, maybe, and those front cuts.
So we can lay out the driveways. I believe they're already staked. The front lot corners, do you need all the sidelines flagged?
I'd
Or
like
just
to see the sidelines flagged on Sokokis Trail, not necessarily all of them on Clark's Bridge.
Well, so if I flag them a couple hundred feet from the road, that you're good with that? Or you want to see them all the way back?
It's getting pretty bushy in there,
That's why I'm asking.
yeah.
Some planning boards will walk the whole property. Some
I'm
planning boards
not,
will,
yeah. No, because once, actually from the road, you can see the higher elevation anyways. I'm not
Okay.
interested in flagging the whole thing at this point. Are the test pits noticeable? In the field?
I would rather have it.
No, I think he did those with an auger. It's all ADB soil, which is gravel and sand. And
Yeah,
so-
there's only one I saw that was
Yeah,
iffy.
yeah.
I'm not worried about the test pits either, just the roads.
Just the roads, okay.
Yeah, where's some bug dope? We had somebody out there, got 20 ticks on him the other day. He was out there quite a while, but.
Yeah, yeah. No, the test pits, they're probably, the borings are fine, and I have the logs, so
Yep. Okay,
All right?
so I guess we'll see you the 29th at 5 PM. Oh, yes, we did have one question. Going through your ordinance, you require that all the gravel and topsoil and all that stuff from the pre-application forward is part of the subdivision. So the storage units, there's an area of material that could be graded out of here to use for fill over here. And just want to make sure that the board is okay with that. So what happens here is this thing humps up, so they're basically going to grade it level and take the material and use it for fill over here.
I don't have a problem with that. Do we need to make a vote or a motion on that?
So what you're doing is essentially flattening all the way.
I'm just going to flatten this, like I said, there's just a hummock here
I'm
that
fine with it.
they're going to flatten out.
It's actually very beneficial for the town because you're keeping a bunch of trucks off the road. That would be import, that it levels out the site and gives those two, I think it's lots 4 and 5, a whole lot of backyard. Right now, they're not gonna have any backyard. They
Right.
actually have to cut into that hill to get a foundation in, the way it comes down. They can level out those lots, make them much easier lots, and then utilize that material next door where it falls off and fills in.
Okay. Code enforcement officer, you have any,
Nope, I'm fine with that.
you're fine with that?
I would say when you want it in the minutes, at the very least.
Excuse
You
me?
want it in the minutes, of the meeting minutes when you approve it.
Well, it'll be in the findings of
Yeah,
fact.
Findings of fact, yeah, exactly.
You make sure you make sure you get that in there for sure.
So I just want to make sure that they would like to adopt this before they get final approval for the subdivision.
For the safe storage, you mean?
Right. No, they already have approval for the safe storage, but they want to be able to remove the material.
Oh, okay.
That's why, I think, that's why this clause is in your ordinance. That if you want to be able to remove it before approval, that you have the board's approval to do that.
Oh, okay. I'll have to read that. I don't remember seeing that in there.
Section 9.4, if you, I don't know what it is.
Final approval.
Yeah. Is it, okay, it's final
It'll be done by
approval.
then.
It's in the subdivision standard.
Do we need to make a motion on that and a vote so it's official, or can we just do that during?
So, I mean, I'm not 100% clear to allow the safe storage facility to start the site work and move. Is that? Yeah, I mean,
It's just a vote.
Can you read that section, please?
Sure. 9.41, trees, natural undergrowth, topsoil, gravel, and all other deposits in their natural state at the time of the pre-application inspection of the board shall be considered as part of the subdivision land, except for the removal or rearrangement required for building, construction, landscaping, parking lots, recreations, streets, or removal of diseased or hazardous trees shall not be removed except in accordance with a specific agreement with the board. So what he's asking for is for the board to simply grant him permission to relocate gravel prior to approval of this subdivision, because that's basically.
Because right now, since it's
It's
in here
in
right now.
process.
If it wasn't on our desk, they could do whatever they want. But it's
Correct.
on our desk, so we have to actually
Yep.
give them permission.
Yep.
I'd like a motion to grant them permission to utilize that gravel for the other abutting lot.
I'll second it.
I have to have a motion first.
Oh, I thought you were putting a motion.
Oh, I can make a motion. I make a motion to allow them to utilize the gravel.
I'll second it.
And Clyde seconded it.
Should be great.
All in favor? 5-0, Angela.
Thank you. All right, thank you very much.
Sorry, I thought you were going to do that.
It's okay. Sorry, don't worry about it. Just to be clear and safe. There's too many Clark's bridges and
There's
crossings.
too many Waterboro crossings.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I think I had a typo in my memo. I don't know.
Yes,
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
why we're all
Yeah.
confused.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Waterboro crossing Sokokis, Waterboro crossing Clark's Bridge Sokokis. We got it.
So we have completed old business. Now let's move on to new business. We'll take them in the order they are on the agenda. First up is 40 Logan Circle. I'm gonna mess up this name. Lauzier? Lauzier. And this is just finding the application complete.
Yep.
Side wall there, the further switch back.
If you'd like to state your name and present your project, that would be great.
Okay, my name is Steve Everett. I'm the surveyor for the project on behalf of the Lauziers. Can we rotate that by chance?
Upside down.
So I did the overall boundary survey a couple of years ago for them, and for the purposes of placing a garage, which they did. They got a building permit, and this right here was the first garage that was permitted. That was permitted by Jake Lauzier. And that was last year.
That was,
Mike?
that was 2020 permitted by Glenn Girard.
2020, okay. Subsequently, a friend of his came along and said, boy, I'd like to put a garage up there for storage as well. And he got permitted for the second one.
Oop, can you scroll down, Dave? That's okay, if you can just scroll down.
Yeah, for this one. This one was permitted last year.
Back up. A little more, a little more, a little more. Perfect.
And then subsequently, what ended up happening is that they ended up connecting the two buildings with a roof, which, according to our code officer, constitutes one building now. So it exceeded the 2,500 square feet, which threw it into site plan review. So that's why we're here. I went out, redid some of the survey work, well, redid the survey work because they had done a lot of grading to put the two buildings there, and came up with this design to handle, basically, it's for stormwater. That's really was the only major issue that we had to address. So that's the project. if it hadn't been connected with two roofs, you wouldn't have seen the project. So, here we are.
Is it me or, never mind, I'll save that. This happened just exactly as Steve had described it. I permitted the second garage in 2021. They began construction, did a bunch of grading, and then they had a running change, we call it a lot of times in construction, and they put two giant steel I-beams between the two structures and ran the roof system directly across. This puts it in a different category, meaning because it's over 2,500 square feet, so then once again, we're here for site plan approval. This also bumps it into a commercial category merely based on the square footage of the building, the total square footage of the building. It is, wouldn't be required to have sprinklers or anything of that nature because of the usage. It's going to actually be very similar to a residential usage. This is solely for storage. I believe one portion for Mr. Lauzier, because I've had many conversations with the individuals, and you can imagine. One is for Mr. Lauzier to store his construction equipment in, and the other side is for, I believe, it's for a gentleman to store automobiles and boats and so forth. Lake debris being on Logan Circle, so they'll probably be very, very popular. There'll be a lot of people that will be asking them if they could store their boat, perhaps, if this is approved. So they received a stop work order back when the buildings were connected. This building is set idle till the last week or two for pretty much all winter long, awaiting their application.
So I understand that these are two separate owners?
Correct. Yeah, and there was 30 feet in between the two buildings, which was basically was a buffer previously, and then they decided to connect the two. So now we broke it when they connected the two. Either building individually was just under the 2,500 square foot threshold. Then obviously when they connected the two, they're significantly over it now.
So this is a full site plan review then?
Correct. Correct, and if you check their application out, you'll see there are a number of waivers that they asked for because, very simply because it's going to be storage usage. There are no habitable, I guess we'll say, no living space within either one. There is an individual bathroom because it's the primary structure on the lot.
Well, that's what I was asking, because I noticed the leach bed and why it's there.
They each have a bathroom?
They each have a bathroom?
No, one has a bathroom. Well, I say one has a bathroom that I'm aware of currently. These running changes happen quite often, so I could very likely get a call and say, well, geez, put a bathroom in another one. As long as it's not a kitchen, as long as the kitchen doesn't go in, I'm not alarmed.
So that's not showing two outlets from each building on the septic system?
It may be. This drawing, I don't know as I've seen this newest.
It's showing an outlet here on that garage and an outlet right here, both going into a common leach field.
So which
That's
is
what
the
it's showing.
existing?
I would guess it would be the first one. It would be this one.
The first one?
Yeah, I'm guessing.
That came off the staff review. Because I'm seeing the two bathrooms.
One on the fast, one on me. Well, the first one hasn't pulled a plumbing permit yet. Let's put it that. The first one hasn't pulled a plumbing permit yet, so I wasn't really quite aware of that. So, I must have missed this version because this was actually done after our staff review.
Okay, all right.
This plan has been amended several times.
So,
So this plan is new to me.
so,
I was just trying to reconcile what you were saying to what we were saying
yeah, it
here.
was like, I'm seeing
Two.
two outlets, to two septic tanks,
It
to
makes
one.
sense they wanna have.
I just wanna know
It's the same
if it's,
Right.
if what's existing and what's proposed.
Well, yeah, this is what's proposed as of late.
So this may not necessarily be existing.
No, none of the outlets are existing, that's proposed.
That's okay.
The septic hasn't been installed, there's only been one bathroom added to one building to the south.
Do you have
Okay.
pictures of it?
But the septic is not there.
The septic is not put in yet.
Okay, all right.
And a
Pictures, right?
single well
Got any pictures?
Yeah,
supplying both.
supplying both.
Okay.
They don't have a proposed, they do have a proposed location near the road.
Yeah, let's see that.
And when did you redo the contours? That's actually a question I have.
When did I redo the contours?
Did you, yeah.
I surveyed the property and did all of these small little, are spot shots that I took.
Okay.
And then recontoured all of this area and blended it in with the 2-foot contours. These are all 1-foot contours,
Yeah,
and then these are 2-foot contours, which I downloaded from the state
okay.
and tied those in. And that was done a year and a half ago.
Okay.
So,
All right, so this is not required sprinklers?
No, storage usage.
Existing utilities, I don't know how I see that. If you could throw this, in trying to find this lot, that took me a while. Could you throw a vicinity map on your plan, please? Thank you. Is the driveway going to be paved or gravel?
I believe it's just going to remain gravel.
Just remain gravel.
Yeah.
On the waivers, team, do we have to approve each one individually?
Have you done that in the past?
Well, it's been so long since we've seen waivers, I don't remember. And I just got these like that.
Have you done that in the past? Because that would make you.
What, according to Robert's rule.
I don't think you would need a motion for each one, but I think with Roger's rule,
And then
I'd have to get back to you. I'd have to
the
check.
Captain Fraser from the
I don't know.
financial
I
asked
wouldn't
him to
give you a definitive answer at this
widen
moment.
the
but-
access
All right.
for emergency vehicles, was the only thing that came from him.
Yeah.
Now that you say that, Dogstar, I think maybe I do have to do each one individually. Yeah, I think you do have to do each one individually.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I just can't remember if it's, when we actually review the application or during when we find the application complete. Do we have to accept the waivers first before we can find the application complete?
I would think so.
Yeah.
While you're discussing that, Roger or Steve, when you connected them in the middle, you can't drive through right now?
It's open.
You do drive through?
Yep.
It's all open?
To remain open.
Okay. I didn't know if there were doors or something up there. Okay.
And there's 4 of them, right?
Stormwater, lighting, groundwater, and personal storage only.
Waivers after the public.
I have 4.
If you grant the waivers, how would you, if you didn't grant them, how would you deem the application complete?
Yeah, that's true.
Does anybody have any, because one of these is for personal storage. First responders' access will be gladly accomplished, but what was that intended for?
Is it the locks on the doors? Emergency access to the inside of the building?
Should there be, say, residential storage?
I don't know, Mike, do you remember?
I think it was for any, I believe it was for any additional requests that the fire department had.
In the future.
In the future, moving forward.
Okay, okay. And they want a waiver for that?
Originally, we didn't have the fire lane around the building. That came after the staff review.
Okay,
So that waiver may have been produced prior to the fire, to the staff.
So that's the 20 feet in the radius that Captain Fraser wanted, right? It's already been completed?
Yes, that's the
Yeah.
20-foot,
Great,
all right.
some portion of it.
okay.
Okay, so on this waiver request, usage is for personal storage only. Any amendments to be made for the first responders' access will be gladly accomplished. May I have a motion to accept this
I
waiver?
motion to accept that waiver.
May I have a second? Clyde seconded that. May I have a vote in favor? 5-0. The second waiver, the scope of this project will not affect groundwater quality as there will be very little or no contaminants stored on the site. Any potential contaminated qualities on hand will be no more than an average household regarding cleaning and supplies. And this is because of the boats and the cars and, okay. May I have a motion to approve this waiver?
I motion to approve it.
Second, Clyde? In favor? 5-0, Angela. I don't know if these are waivers or not. The next waiver I'm looking at is all lights will be downward facing wall sconces per code requirement. Any additional lighting will be motion activated. The lights aren't shown on the building.
Correct. The lights are not shown on the building. There are two near the front of the building, correct? Steve?
I
can't see that from here. No downward facing lights on there?
don't think there were any lights when I did the survey.
That's why the
That's
waiver
why
is
they're
there.
not there. If you could update that on your plan, please. Well, the ones that are there.
Is there lighting? Is there lighting?
There will be
There will be.
at the entrances.
So there's no lighting
Not
there?
yet.
No.
Not yet, there's nothing there yet.
It's
There's
just,
nothing there.
It's just framed and they just sided the building, so it's
Okay,
kind
all
of
right.
halfway through the construction.
All right. This is actually more of a condition than a waiver, but to me, but.
I know, I agree.
But that's all right. May I have a motion to approve this waiver also? I'll make a motion to approve this waiver. May I have a second?
Yeah, it's like that.
Clyde seconded. All in favor? 5-0, Angela. We have made, next waiver is we have made adequate stormwater provisions as related to the increased sheet flow for projected structure and usage by designing subgrade collection flow flowing directly to settlement basin, which they have. I'll make a motion to approve this waiver request. May I have a second? Clyde seconded. All in favor? 5-0, Angela.
So why do you need these waivers instead of conditions? Is it because it's not?
Because it's site plan review, it's.
Okay. I didn't understand that. Thank you.
Yeah, we haven't had waivers in a long time, since you guys are here.
No signs. Septic. Is there any further comment or questions from the planning board? Planner or code enforcement? You guys all set? May I have a motion to approve this approve the application? Accept the app. Yeah. May I have a motion?
You can
Doing it
approve
to
it if you
accept it.
want.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
We're
yeah.
accepting it.
We're accepting the application. Second? Clyde seconded. All in favor? 5-0, Angela.
Public hearing?
Yep. And anybody require, does anybody want a site walk on this one?
I drove by, I don't need a sidewalk.
I don't remember seeing it.
I don't guess.
You might have some, was there some questions about the Logan Circle extension or like where the drainage would go, or did that?
Nope.
We didn't have anybody comment on
You
that.
spent the most time at the site, so I didn't know if you.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We'll handle that with the excavator. He knows it's gonna stay on the property.
Does the board want to schedule a public hearing? I try to do a public hearing regardless.
June 15th.
June 15, she's gonna sue.
At the start of regular meeting. Okay, that's it for that one. You're all set. You have a public, will we be reviewing this after the public hearing for application? Okay. Just to make it clear that we'll have a public hearing and then it will be on the agenda also. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please don't say another crossing.
No, this is it's the medical.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not this, I'm trying to figure out.
It's the garages.
Oh, okay, so it is the garage, okay.
That's the circle.
Next on the agenda.
Sorry.
Next on the agenda, Sokokis Trail, Mr. Robert Shubert, site plan review. Hello.
Hi.
I do have to disclose, I live in this neighborhood.
Oh, you do?
Does the board feel that I can do this?
Objectively,
Yeah, that word.
I don't have a problem with that
I
one.
have no issue with it.
I don't have a problem with it.
Okay.
I think that was the resounding vote.
I think that was.
It is what it is, right?
It is what it is.
Right.
Would you like to present your project to the
Sure.
planning board?
Sure. So I have, well, if I could just give a little background before this. I actually, if you see this little shed here, I had permitted a shed and approved of a second greenhouse that was built next to this first shed. Because I live on this property of tax map 53 lot 10, and I purchased this rectangular piece of property that abuts me to the rear. And so I was hoping at one point just to marry them. So I grow medical marijuana, not as a business, as a priority for sure, a lot of family need. And so generally, all I was doing was growing what was permitted for personal and someone with a med card. And so once I realized I couldn't put these properties together, because I got these greenhouses from a friend of a friend at a very nice fee. So I constructed the second greenhouse, and then of course Mike, it's visible from Route 5, the top of it, so he saw and stopped and told me I needed a permit. So one thing that is causing me to call this a medical marijuana grow only facility is that I don't live on the property that exists this greenhouse. And I need a caregiver license in order to transport marijuana. And, you know, we transport to labs because we make food out of it. And so I have this greenhouse now. And so now, you know, after many conversations with Mike and his team, we realized, okay, we need to simplify this. I have one greenhouse. It does exist. It is a Ledgewood Farm greenhouse. They're out of New Hampshire, very reputable. And so then once we had a staff meeting, he just told me what I needed to do to make it a commercial property, even though I won't be having, there's no bathroom, there's no employees, I live here, there's no customers, so there won't be traffic. But per the fire department, I will have my 20-foot driveway with a radius of 50-foot for turnarounds. They were here, they were happy with it. They wanted me to put a Knox box, because I do have this fenced in per OCM from the state, the Office of Cannabis Policy. And so I don't, let's see, I don't, that was my requirement. I have since, because I was using I only run a few fans in here. I was using some extension cords from my shed, and they preferred to, they said those were only to be temporary. So I am going to install a pole with an underground wiring to the greenhouse for the fans. I do have carbon filters for my fans for smell or odor. I have, I'm only using organic nutrients, because that was a question that came up in the staff review. So what it's like a garden. I feed them once a week, very organically. And again, I don't sell anything, so I don't have customers. And since, you know, this exists, it's kind of near growing season. Like a general marijuana grow facility would have 5 or 6 turns a year to try to make a profit. I'm a greenhouse, it's unheated. I do it once per season. In fact, my wife has a half a dozen peppers down in this corner, because even after last year, I'm just myself. It was too much. It's a lot of work to do all those. And then I realized the previous year I lost a lot from, there's bugs and molds and mildews and things that you have to be aware of. So it's like any gardening kind of project. So I just don't need as much. But I have this greenhouse. I've talked to code enforcement about knocking it back in size so it wouldn't be over the 2,500 square foot. But it actually didn't make a difference, because since it's on its own property that I don't live on, I couldn't consider it to be just I forget what you ended up calling it.
But it's a home occupation. There's 2 areas that this type of usage is allowed, and it's for a home occupation within Waterboro, and it's a marijuana grow facility. So where this is an individual parcel, we have to view it as, in order for him to be able to utilize it for what the intent is, we have to classify it as a marijuana grow facility. Now, with that being said, a lot, like Mr. Shubert said, a lot of the things that really come into play from my perspective is the usage of the carbon filters. We need to make sure that it's adequate with the square footage that he's utilizing in order to protect some of the abutters from the odor. That's a definite concern for me.
Those are the complaints that you've had in the past, is that what?
Well, yes, yep. And this was all, as Mr. Schubert said, this all was stemmed from a drive-by violation. This has been going on for over about a year. Mr. Schubert's been trying to work with us, and this is his path to compliance.
Yeah, you did a stop order, haven't used it since.
No.
It is getting to be that time of year. You know, one thing I'd like to just add is, for sure I'm using carbon filters. They are rated for the square footage that I have. One thing that I'm just feeling a little upsetting about a little bit is, and I live in this neighborhood, there's 19 houses in here. I literally do have all my registered letters. If you were to give me permission to go to a hearing, I'm going to get everybody notified for sure right away. But one thing is, like, somebody had called the week before that we had our staff review and said that they smelled an odor. Nothing on my property. I don't have anything there. So I may have a neighbor that may not be so happy, or maybe they did smell something, because I know 2 out of the 5 houses right next to my house, this guy grows 9 plants outside. He's legally allowed to. This girl grows 6, and this guy grows 18 plants outside. Mine are inside with carbon filters and some protection, and I wouldn't be able to pinpoint whether somebody smelled this or that. And so I think, I don't want to say it's unfair for the odor, because it is not an odor that's a man-made odor. It's a vegetative odor.
It's a unique odor.
It is a unique odor. There's no doubt about it. But I point all my fans down this way where there's nobody living. It goes right down to the lake. And I would say that my situation controls odor far better than anybody else around. And I mean, I do think that, well, I have the extra carbon filter. So this year I'm pretty confident that any lingering odor won't be from my facility. But again, I do it for family medical purposes, not to sell. And unfortunately, just because it's on its own property, and I mean, it's just a regular greenhouse and it happens to be a traditional size, knocking it back isn't helping me. I'm hoping that you'll allow me to have it considered that category, knowing my limited use of it. My wife's a big gardener. You should see all this around here is all garden. So she's trying to take over some of my greenhouse.
Mike, did you want to speak any more on?
I guess if you had any questions, I'd be happy to answer them, but there's really not. I think we've pretty much gone over. It's a pretty basic situation.
Yeah.
It's a climate nowadays. This always seems there's a lot of talk around this issue, and unfortunately the state, to your credit, the state is slow in reacting and regulating. I mean, we have a lot of work to do in this area, as he said. You know, he has a greenhouse, and you assume that maybe the odor is coming from him, but how do you know if it's from
Right,
9
they're all going to
plants
point
next
to
door?
him whether it's him or not.
Yeah, right.
You know, I'm doing my darndest to try to make, like, you know what, Lori, I'm sorry, I don't know you. I know all my neighbors mostly. I mean, in my hearing, I'm going to have people here to show up to say, like, I help all my neighbors. I happen to have some equipment because, I'm building all this. I help them all. anybody ever came to me asking for something, or if there was a problem, I surely would work to fix the issue.
Mike, can I ask, to get out of like the objective, this neighbor versus this neighbor?
Sure.
On the carbon filter aspect, is that part of code enforcement to check
What will we-
SCFM
Yep,
and sizing is
The
correct?
square footage, exactly, and then how many CFMs the individual unit moves, and, yeah, it has to do with the manufacturer's specs and the different makes and models and so forth, but yes, that's a function
And keeping a log and everything.
Yep, keeping a log as to when the filters are cleaned, and then that way you get a baseline, for how long it's gonna be before,
The
okay, I need to
recommendations
service.
every 90 days, but if there was something that asked me to move it up to once a month, it's not a problem. I have 6 fans, they move 4,500 cubic feet per minute. So every minute that's blowing through, and I have less square footage.
Right.
So
And each model and make is unique, so there's no set parameter that, okay, we can say, okay, you're gonna clean it in 3 months. There are some, I've just viewed a place that we approved last year. Their manufacturer recommends them to clean the filters once per year, and they have a pretty substantial amount or they will have a substantial amount of vegetation. So,
They're still operating on that one building.
correct. Yep, they're actually not even operating quite yet, they're just getting started, getting set up.
So at this point, code has already looked at the
Already
filter, it's good.
Already, well,
done the
they're
diligence.
policing this. What would happen is, after we leave here, he gets his usage permit, then we can permit the greenhouse, and then we'll go into the details, okay, you need something that's gonna handle another 600 square feet, or, well, yep, thanks.
Where's the water supply for this?
I use about 20 gallons every other day, and I use a hose from my
your
garden.
home?
Yes.
Okay.
It looks bigger, it looks a little bigger when you're driving by, and I've tried to do a little better job of putting up some nice vegetation, and so I try to make it look nice and fit in. If you had a suggestion, I'd be more than happy. I mean, you live there, I want everybody in that neighborhood to appreciate each other, for sure.
And the only delivery person is you, right?
That is correct. Yes, I only bring things to the lab and back. I have it's mostly my older daughter and her family, and a son and his family. One lives in Wyndham and one lives in Biddeford, but I'm the only transporter, yes.
Okay. You're putting in electricity.
I am going to put in electricity, yes.
Are you going to be putting in lights?
No lights. No, it's basic. There's no heat, no lights. It's really just, it helps because, helps with cut down on bugs, and it helps to keep rain off that causes mildew. It's a tricky plant to grow.
Are you planning on any kind of security other than your fence?
I have the OCP requires security. I have 2 sets of camera systems. One is online and one is a hard drive based. And they can see every angle. I have 24 cameras probably around the property.
Goodness.
Well, it makes us feel, I just feel like it makes it so that everybody around feels safe, because, when eyes are watching.
Does the planning board have any more comments? Anything more, Mike? Dean, do you want to say anything?
Nope.
Anything more? No?
So you're altering the driveway to satisfy the fire department?
Yes, and I do have a state driveway permit that I included.
I saw that.
I don't have any questions.
Okay, so the finding application and public hearing. I'll make a motion to find the application complete.
I'll second it.
Clyde officially put his hand up, so he seconded it. All in favor? 5-0. Do you want to do a site walk on this?
I don't need a sidewalk.
It's very noticeable from the...
I think I've seen it, so I don't need a
I'll look
sidewalk.
closer.
I know that
Evergreen Drive is also a public way.
right, I know the fire department is gonna take care of the driveway
Right.
stuff, so that's fine for me.
Okay. I would like to do a public hearing
Yes.
and give the, at least an opportunity for anybody that wants to voice an opinion.
Yes.
When's that gonna be coming up?
June 15th.
That's next meeting.
Okay.
I have my letters all ready to go, dated for that date, just in case.
So we'll be doing the public hearing and application approval that night? You are all set.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.
Yeah.
Might be a little easier to
Boy, right on the middle.
use than the one I brought. Thank you.
Kind of big dream.
Yeah. Where would be the best place to put it? Okay.
This one, Lori, or do you want to share?
Yeah, we can share.
Up to you.
I don't have a lot of red marks on this one because it was pretty much,
Yeah. The official term was a tank.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, this one on top of this one. It's beautiful.
The fire, yeah, I know. The fire. All set, everybody?
Yep.
You could state your name and present your project. I would appreciate it.
My name's Aaron Hunter. I'm a civil engineer with Sebago Technics. Here with Dan Guzianis, who's the applicant, and Nicole Conan, who's the transportation engineer from Sebago Technics. We are presenting the project for site plan for acceptance of the application and to schedule a site walk if necessary, and also to move on to the next step in the process. So the site is located at 40 Sokokis Trail, right next to the Hannaford over here. Part of the existing site is developed with a commercial shopping area with 4 different users. And then there's, as a part of that project, an existing drive was built to about here for future connection and use. As part of that project, there was a traffic movement permit with DOT And there were some roadway improvements along Sokokis Trail that included a turn lane. That project was originally built in 2003, I believe, and then there was a modification made in 2012 to add on this main drive-through here on the end of the unit. So now we're here before you to add 2 buildings here. One proposed building 1 at the front, which is just a general retail building, and then proposed building 2, which is right now an office use. And then out back we have 8 self-storage units, also with some storage area along the side here for motorhomes and boats, different items such as that. In regards to access, we'll be accessing from the existing drive along off of Sokokis Trail. The 2 driveway connections, one adjacent from the existing out front and one adjacent to the existing out back. To get access to the rear self-storage, we'll be extending the existing access drive. There'll be circulation all around the buildings in the front here and around the back. In terms of stormwater, we're going to be filing an application with the Maine Department of Environmental Protection for a site location of development permit. So they'll be reviewing stormwater and all the other aspects that come along with that. We are proposing an infiltration basin expansion over here. Some underground chambers for additional storage, and also porous pavement over in these areas that are darker here. In regards to utilities, there is water that is extended into the access drive and stubbed to the very end of the access drive, so we'll be connecting to that for buildings 1 and 2, and extending it to the self-storage as a stub in case of any future use that's whether it be irrigation or something. And then septic will be 2 septic systems for building, one for building 1 and one for building 2. Will be located back here in this green area between the development out front and the self-storage buildings. The existing septic field for the building that's currently there is located right here, so we're following all those setbacks that are associated with that from any wells or stormwater systems. We'll also be extending electric and communications into the site from the plan right now, planning to extend it from the road overhead to a pole along this property line here, and then go underground into the site and to service those 2 buildings and also the development out back. The self-storage area will be enclosed by a fenced area with a gate for access. That's pretty much all for kind of the general overview of the site. We did have the staff review meeting earlier last month, where we received some comments regarding circulation and transportation. So we did try to incorporate some of their comments into this, and then we received some additional comments before this meeting, which we'd be happy to work with them to further address and meet their satisfaction. That's pretty much all I have right now. If there's any questions from you guys, and also there's Nikki could speak more on transportation, or Jenny could speak more about operations on the site.
Mike, do you have anything?
Building 1 is a single occupancy, correct? The larger retail space?
Correct.
This is going to be just a single occupancy. Okay.
And what are you designing its use for again?
Just like a general retail use.
General retail?
Yeah, it's not going to be a variety store or anything like that.
more concerned like dining.
No, not a restaurant.
And the second building is just a small office space?
Yeah, proposed office space or
Okay.
like a medical office, not marijuana.
Refreshing.
Actually, probably deed restricted.
Right. Did you have, does the planning board have any questions?
I'd like to hear from Mike or Dean if they have anything to add.
The fire department has, I don't really want to speak for them because I wish they were here, and the Department of Transportation, but the Public Works Department, excuse me, but they still are very concerned with the traffic flow. Really? They're very concerned with the traffic flow, and there's already some issues in the current usage for the Dunkin' Donuts, and been some mishaps in the parking lot, and we have 2 ways of traffic and then people backing up. They're looking for a much cleaner flow, but I'll leave that for them. You guys, please feel free to reach out to Mike Frazier and Jason, or even request them at the next meeting, so that they can explain their take on and their reasoning. Mike, we did an inspection together the other day, and it was time for him to do truck checks. Just to give you a little story, and we went in an engine to do an inspection, and we pulled into a restaurant, and now I know why they are so adamant about their space. If there is somebody exiting this, even this 2-lane section, and the radius is a little tight, and there's an emergency, they're gonna come in there hot and probably, they take a lot of room, and that engine that we were in was 55,000 pounds. So, as far as their requirements for road construction, parking lot construction, and their turn radiuses, and I got a whole new respect for that at this point. And I think that's probably a great experience for somebody like yourself to just do a quick ride along.
Next inspection, I can add to some of that a little too. I know that, there's a lot of issues, I think, or concerns with the traffic flow on the site. A little bit with the access, and part of it, I think, is just being able to get a truck in and out. The existing crash history, there's only like 3 accidents that are people coming in and out that are intersection related in the last 10 years. But on site, Mike pulled out a sheriff's report, so every time they get a call, and there was I want to say 40, but
There's
plus
a pretty substantial number.
over a short period, maybe 5 years or something. So those could be all the property damage only. Somebody fender bumper, which we'd have to break that down to get a better idea how many, and then also to compare it to other places similar to see how bad this place. If this place is just normal, operating normally, or if it's worse in that case. With the Envoy site. With the 2 proposed uses, the projected PM peak hour traffic is 93, so it doesn't meet the turning movement permit that DOT would require. And then additionally, they've already done the site work with there's center turn lane and a right-hand turn lane going in, so there's probably not a whole lot left you can really do on Route 5. Unless it really had a lot of traffic and warranted a light or something.
Well, that's what, yeah.
But
yeah,
I would assume it's not with those 2 uses unless you get some sort of crazy retail, or if the medical office is open early in the morning, or like if the timing differences are line up so that there's a rush of traffic. The storage unit doesn't really look like it's going to draw a lot of traffic, and the small office it's just so unknown with what you're getting, and then there's really no perfect solution of you just do this and it'll be a great flowing traffic. The existing operations with the Dunkin' Donuts, they did a count on a Monday morning and between 7 and 8, and the traffic backed up into the access drive only once in that entire time period, but it reached 10 cars, which it only fits 11. It reached 10 cars twice, I think, or more maybe. But
Yeah, that's
access is right there. Yeah, but then there's been accounts from other people that say that some mornings it backs out all the way out to Route 5. I don't live in
Many
town.
mornings.
Yeah, I've seen it, I've seen it too.
Yeah, and then, but they're, like, some of the points that they're making is that with the pandemic and, like, simmering down, people are more likely to go inside instead of get into the wait in a line like that for a drive-through. They also mentioned having the Dunkin' Donuts have an extra attendant, like a parking lot attendant, taking orders in the line, so that if those are actually implemented, then that might be a good solution. Once again, knowing when those peaks are when it backs out on Route 5 is probably the biggest thing. One of the thoughts, a way to make it less likely for traffic to back out on 5 was to make that first entrance when you're coming in from Route 5, but that first entrance to the new proposed retail would be a one-way in. Yeah, so that if that was a one-way in, it would just create less conflict closer to Route 5. It may create more conflict further away, but at least it would help with traffic flowing off of Route 5 into the new proposed development. It's not a perfect solution, but it's an option. The other thing that we talked about was that there was no, like, if you parked at the variety store, you'd be like, there'd be no easy way to get over to the Dunkin' Donuts or the I Center or something. Like, if you wanted to use both uses, there's no proposed pedestrian infrastructure. It's tight, there's not a lot of room for it probably, but it might be something to consider. I'm assuming that the way the sidewalks are on Route 5 and the existing pedestrian access that kind of goes towards the Dunkin's development, I'm assuming that was a requirement of a previous planning board or DOT, because the sidewalks don't go anywhere.
Yeah, so there's a sidewalk that
this
property line.
I think they must have not got Hannaford's to do that. They gave them their permits.
I thought the sidewalk only goes...
It goes along the whole frontage of the property.
Frontage, and then it goes into the property. But I'm saying, we were talking about people trying to run across from...
Right.
I'm saying run across, whereas if there was some infrastructure, it might be easier for people to get and use the whole development. Those are some of the comments that I think emphasize what I think Mike and Public Works, Jason, were just really concerned about the traffic flow, and especially getting their trucks, or getting any trucks, delivery trucks going in, and then also if there was emergency. But I mean, you can add to that too. I'm sure I just stole a little bit of your thunder, but those are just some of the kind of points that I thought.
Well, number 4 from the fire department talks about the auto turn maps are still showing a 40-degree turn.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what he was referring to there, because in the meeting he did mention these that were, I believe, 40-degree, and we did update them to be 50-degree and have a minimum 20-foot width from that island in the middle where it has the gate that opens for the card reader.
So this is for the storage area, you think?
I believe so. Yeah.
I think on the legend it said 40-foot turn width still.
Okay.
Maybe if that one didn't get changed, but
I can look closer at that.
If you look at the truck movement plan anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So we did update that on there. There might be something on the legend I can take a look at. And then we are, providing pretty wide drive aisles around here, 30 feet wide in most areas. So, running the turn movements, it does show that it can make those. There's some discussion that needs to be had, I guess, to just have it come to a conclusion with some of the staff to make them to get their approval on that. But that's something we can do. And then in regards to the truck that will be loading items into here, that'll be scheduled so that it's not going to line up with peak times when the Dunkin' Donuts is busy to avoid any sort of conflict with that. So just schedule it off peak times as a part of their operations.
It's generally once a week.
Good luck.
Once a week, okay.
And they do
Scheduled
typically
deliveries.
have, they do typically have cameras on the trucks to back up. And
Good luck getting the truck driver to show up when he's supposed to.
The other place is supposed to show up
That's
at
not,
all
honestly,
peak hours,
that's, you know, we've been there 19 years. That's part of the problem is, you know, is just the employee labor
I think
crunch.
for this
Right.
particular application, not for Dunkin'.
So, you know, even though sales are probably down, sales are down about 10 to 15% a week from last year. And most of that's employee driven, so if we have a full staff of 9 to 10 people at the Dunkin', you know, things run smoothly on the busy peak times. But, you know, I'm sure y'all hear the news, just with the employee labor crunch, you got the, you know, places closing or, you know, reduced staff, so that's probably the biggest issue on the traffic. And that's, you know, COVID type. You know, but I think the 16 or 17 years prior to that, we've been pretty big on any major issues with backup or accidents. And I think some of those accidents too with the building, even myself, we've claimed 3 in the last year where they just hit the building because they don't realize they have a, you know, a U-Haul that's, you know, X amount of feet high, and they hit the camera of the Dunkin'. You know?
That's why the Dunkin', the 18-wheeler's got to back up. They can't fit around that.
So how they would access the site, they'd come in this way, up to here, and then back into this loading dock area right there. So they wouldn't be, you know, going around this building. But
Right now, we do have a 55-foot trailer that comes twice a week for the Dunkin'.
Okay.
And that, you know, that guy doesn't hit our plate.
That's a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that first two-way entrance is definitely concerning. Adding it, it's a pinch point for the whole, and I know coming in second, can't really do anything about the other parking lot on the other side. So it's basically you guys, and I you know, that one suggestion about making that first one closest to the road, just an in. That would be, you know, I have the same concerns as the fire department and the public works director. I wish they were here to speak.
We should have been here, I think, too. The traffic flow is the biggest problem, I think, for everybody.
Right.
I think you know that. I don't think it's a big secret.
No, it's not.
Obviously, the Dunkin' and the bank and the Subway and the I-Center are very successful. It's very crazy in there. So I think that's going to be our biggest issue.
Yeah. Have you considered a traffic light? I mean, I know you don't trip the main DOT thing.
And put a traffic light in tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we would have to run some additional analysis to understand. Main DOT won't let you put in a signal unless it's warranted within 8 hours.
Yeah.
So you have to think about the development as a whole, even if the Dunkin' is really generating a lot of traffic in the morning or around lunch or whatever. It has to be kind of consistent throughout the day.
Have you done a traffic count for this development?
No, not off-site, no.
No.
Did a traffic survey sometime in May.
Yeah, so that was just a review of on-site considerations to
Right.
understand what we could potentially view ahead of this meeting in regards to the queuing. And we also wanted to understand when the Dunkin' was peaking in comparison to the proposed development. So since what we saw, it was peaking from 7 to 8, it was likely going to be before operating hours for the new development. So those were kind of the goals of doing that initial kind of analysis.
Public Works is not a fan of a light out there. That's been
Oh,
said.
no, I know. They weren't a fan of the first one, so. That's a tough
It'd
area.
be nice if you could connect to Hannaford's, but
We've approached them
yeah, we
before.
talked about that.
Even bought a piece of property from them once before, and they still
I like this, but not that much.
Not that much, huh? Okay. Yeah, that's a shame, it's gonna be.
We can definitely take a look at the one lane on that center.
Yeah, I mean, there's just not a lot of options, but if you could still continue to work with the fire department and the public works director.
Maybe even shuffle things around and put the retail in the back, further in the back, just to, so less people even want to go in and out at the beginning, and they're more willing to drive up the access road.
Yeah,
Something like
with
that would
that-
just get people away from, I don't know what different layouts you guys looked at, but it might be nice to see something like that, or.
Yeah.
And having the retail in the back is.
Yeah, no, that's not ideal.
I know it's not
I know,
ideal.
yeah.
They want to be
Yeah.
seen, so.
Well, we don't want them to cause a lot of traffic.
But I think, how many trips did we say?
Well, it was 93, right?
For the retail.
The retail during their peak in the AM was 48 trips, so 24 entering and 24 exiting. During the PM would be 79, 39 entering and 40 exiting.
And that was done in May?
So that's all based off the Institute of Transportation Engineers manuals. So we basically take a national database of data. We apply the square footage of the building based on that data to get the estimations for what it's going to generate.
And then that one you're referring to in May, that was done kind of just to look at on-site circulation in regards to the issues that the staff had brought up about queuing from the Dunkin' Donuts out into the road on, I don't know how many occasions, but it seemed like it was kind of during maybe a couple occasions, but during the really high demand events where it's like once every, I don't know, during July or something.
Friday through Sunday, June through August.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, more voters coming in, population might surge a little bit,
Yeah, so Duncan in particular, in terms of how we estimate the trips, is actually different than most methodologies. Maine DOT does something different, so they utilize 3 different equations as opposed to a singular rate. So they base that on the average annual traffic on the adjacent street system. So as kind of the roadway volume increases, we take that into account. It also looks at peak hour in the morning, what that traffic in the vicinity of the Dunkin' looks like, and then also the square footage of the building. So then it averages all 3 of those. So after I did observations out there and counted the entering traffic, Dunkin' was generating around 226 trips that morning. So I back-checked that to what Maine DOT would anticipate from a permitting standpoint. And based on all the recent information, I had data from 2019. It was right around 222 trips. So the morning that I observed was very typical for what I would expect for a trip generation.
And the interesting thing is, Goral Palmer had done a traffic study commissioned by a few of the Dunkin' owners and also Dunkin' the franchisor. And, I think it's 75% of it is drive-by traffic. So they did a license plate study. So they look at a license plate that came in, if it did a right turn out and a right turn out, a right turn in and a right turn out, that was considered pass by. So it's like cars that were already on the road, just passing by. So and actually this was one of the 9 sites back then, ironically enough, that they did the license plate study for. Mm-hmm. And then DOT accepted the study, and I think IT accepted it too, or is it? I think other states have accepted it too.
Yeah, we can submit that information to the national database, but the Goral Palmer study that he's mentioning is what these equations are based from, and we've been using them since 2005 now.
For the proposed development, though, you didn't look at any passerby traffic, and you didn't do projections of traffic growth, right?
So for the other buildings, we used what would be accepted by Maine DOT for those strategies. Yep.
But then they just look at the current year.
Yeah, so it's just that the database is basically data plots from a number of years that they compile to kind of figure out these average rates for what we would anticipate. Yep. And so that wouldn't change based on the roadway. The Dunkin' is kind of a different scenario that's been accepted.
I'm just saying their concerns are with traffic growth increasing and the whole town growing. If you could apply that to the proposed use you're proposing, then you might end up triggering that even over 100. Once again, there's not a whole lot you can do on Route 5, but
Yeah, so if we were to do a traffic study off-site for this proposed build-out today, it would be no different if the building sizes changed in 5 years. We would use the same trip generation rates for those uses. When we did the analysis off-site, that's when we would look at growth rates and things of that nature, but the on-site traffic would not change.
Yeah, I get that. I'm just saying that if you propose traffic growing, then you could apply that growth factor to how many people
Sure.
would go there.
Yep.
It's not, I understand it's not an accepted methodology here, it's not the way that it's done, but.
Well, and those numbers are average. I mean, how about influxes, like with summer traffic?
Yeah, the rates that we use apply for the build out all year round. So when we do the traffic study, if we were to analyze this intersection, we would look at the intersection under peak conditions. But again, it wouldn't change anything with what the site is generating. It would only take into account fluctuation on Sokokis Trail and determining needs for offsite mitigation. But yeah, like we have a lot of existing offsite facilities already, so yeah.
Any other questions or comments?
Well, if they've changed their 40 feet to 50 feet, we need to make sure that that's been done.
Yeah.
Because Mike Fraser wants that done. That's one of his 12 bullet list of concerns. And I think that he should definitely revisit. This was May 24th. So the 50 feet, like you said, or that could have just been an error on the legend, perhaps?
It could have been, yeah. I'd have to take a look. It could have been referring to what the turn radius is required for that fire truck, because that's what's on the turning plans. And that fire truck that we're using was based on a City of South Portland Fire Department truck, which is probably similar in size, I would imagine. I think it's actually a little bit longer than what he said was required, was a 40-foot long truck.
Yep.
Yeah, 41 or 42 feet, I think.
So, but we can certainly, work with him and other staff to accommodate those different requests as much as we can.
Yeah, please still work with them. And
I think a lot of them have been addressed, and we're
if you could
just
look
having
into
further clarification.
yeah, and I mean, I know it doesn't solve the problem, but at least you would alleviate with that being a one-way in, if that would be possible or
Right.
would help in any way. Yeah, that one.
Oh yeah, so I guess as a part of some of the things that we were proposing as a part of the traffic management plan that we provided was to add signage here. If line is to this point, pull in and park and go into the store.
So you're going to limit the number of cars waiting.
Just to try to help with that.
We've done that in
Have you? Yeah.
In North Berwick, 15 years ago was one of the requirements, and actually, believe it or not, people follow the instructions. Most people follow the instructions.
One of the other things that we did was to add some signage and pavement markings here, just to ensure that this area isn't blocked, so people can freely exit this area to get out, just so there's no conflicts with people blocking that and people not being able to get out of these areas.
And we're owner operators, so we don't, not developers that flip and sell these properties. So we've had it for 19 years. We stripe our parking lots annually. So we'll keep up on the line striping. We'll continue to do that.
Got a question. On that new one there, if you make that one way in, would it possibly make sense to have the exit line up outside the Dunkin' line so that people would go around Dunkin' Donuts and you'd never have to cross the Dunkin' line?
exiting from the second
Going
exit?
around the second, around Dunkin' Donuts to leave, and it dumps you outside of the Dunkin' Donuts line on that outside lane.
Are you saying up here or down here? At the top or?
Top.
Yeah. Okay.
So when you go straight out, you have like a no left turn, right? So you can't go back out that way, you go straight across.
They'd have to go around the drive-through to exit, is what he's saying.
Around the drive-through, but on the outside. It would dump you on the outside, so you would never have to cross the Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I guess if they can get through.
Depends on the size of the vehicles.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's a good idea.
tight.
It is tight.
Saying that let's just go, or they can just go that way and then turn
Yeah,
around. But
I think there's more traffic here.
There isn't, that's what I would, that's what I would guess is there.
Yeah, because you got the Dunkin' tractor trailer guy backing up.
Yeah, right.
Any other comments or questions?
And I think we were all set on I think one of the comments was about the siren activated. That, we had said that, send us a spec, and we'll put that and the Knox box in case the siren technology, I haven't seen it somewhere. But I don't have an issue doing it, but I'm gonna put some suspenders on it and put a Knox box too.
Great.
one of the other things was about we want to talk about the buildings back here.
Yeah, so there is a landscape plan, and I know we did an elevation in the first building, and I think that was interpreted as meeting or exceeding what needed to be done.
Correct.
And the second one would have the same look and feel, but we weren't sure back here if it was a landscape or if certain, storage units could need to be.
So if I can add, basically these units that would be, I think it'd be like unit 4, 5, and 6, maybe 7, that would be seen from the street.
Right.
In order to meet the design standards, that staff review was brought up, providing taller fence or providing landscaping to screen that from the road, or also to provide a false front on it that would meet something more similar to this frontage here, maybe. So right now we were adding some trees along this radius here, essentially up to where this building would go, and then some along here. So it would, cover the buildings that are not being blocked by existing buildings. So that's what we were proposing for that at this point.
And those buildings are all accessed from the outside? There's no interior corridors?
For the storage, correct. And then the dumpsters, a screen dumpster, propane tanks are buried, 2 separate septic systems and leach fields, landscaping, irrigation, LED lighting.
We ready to approve the application?
Except.
Except, why do I keep doing that?
You want to approve everybody.
Yes, I know.
Give me a heart attack.
Wouldn't be like me. Wrong word. Can I have a motion to accept the application is complete? Okay, I will make a motion to accept that the application is complete. May I have a second? Jim is seconding that and got in. All in favor? 5-0, Angela. How's everybody feeling about a sidewalk?
Yeah.
And I know we're probably going to have a public hearing too. So let's just schedule for a site walk, public hearing, and an application review.
Well, these guys would have gone the 29th too.
For the site walk?
Yep, so How long do you guys think you'll take on, the subdivision?
I don't know that I would do it on the same night as.
I don't think so.
What about the
Yeah.
15th? Isn't it?
So, your option is, you can do the site walk on the 15th. You can't, because I can't publicize it in time.
You won't be able to get it in time, right?
I can't get it out in time. Well, they've still got some time to work with staff for turning radiuses and whatnot.
I just like to go with the fire department. I think
So,
That was one question that I had in regards to you guys, is, you know, if we satisfy, if the staff is satisfied in regards to circulation and traffic, is there anything additional that you guys would need to feel good to approve this?
No, the rest of it, I think, no. You know, unless something comes out of the public hearing,
Right.
our biggest concerns are that the traffic and fire and.
Okay.
But as far as what you have, barring public comment, no, I don't foresee anything, major changes for that.
Okay.
During the day.
or holding. So, for a site walk and a public hearing, it would push it out to July 6th.
Or if not, all of you guys go and it's not a meeting, doesn't be public? If a quorum
Well,
can't make it.
if you get a quorum of them there.
Yeah, so you can only send
So-
3 of the planning board members.
Right, if you get a quorum there, it's in,
The site walks are public meetings and they're
Yeah,
public
right.
hearings. If the
Right.
planning board,
So-
but if you wanted to go, like you drove by the other places, or if you wanted to go and we all happen to be there, I think that then it's not.
Right,
Yeah,
so
that-
what is,
isn't that-
is there
I'm not-
anything staked out?
no.
No, the only thing that would be maybe identified right now is some flagging of wetlands back here that we're not impacting or, hitting the proper buffers. So. And then pretty much all the area that we're proposing to develop is all
It's all
wooded
wooded.
and undeveloped right now.
So, I mean, not so much for me to be satisfied, I'd like Mike and Jason to look at it, as far as a site walk. Can we request that?
Yes. Yep. I can do that.
So if that's easier, I'm not trying to say if everybody wants to have a site walk, but if that's easier and can speed things along so we're not holding up a project, that's not our intent. We just want the fire department and the public works guys to see. I mean, they've already had concerns and gotten into us, so maybe just a revisit and then wait and see, like Lori said, with the public hearing.
And a lot of some of the, feedback that we've already implemented, like the fence in the back, making that, pushing that.
We may be able to just have a quick meeting, a Zoom meeting or even a telephone conversation. If we could just get everybody in the same room and kind of.
That might be easier. What do you guys think?
Well, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. If you can just get Mike and the fire department to get their
I have a
concerns.
feeling they might try to recommend that the northerly entrance be one way in to the retailers.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's really ideal.
This one.
I think that's one.
Yeah.
Trying to get that to be a one-way.
Do you have any issues?
Yep. Let's set up something in the next week or so, and then we can all get together and we'll have a telephone conference or something, and we'll iron some of those things out and see if we can get through this.
Okay, yeah, I'll coordinate through Angela to get something scheduled.
Would it still need to be that wide too, for the trucks and everything?
Where are you talking about? Oh, here?
Yeah.
What we'd probably do is just stripe it, and have a sign, do not do not exit or
Yeah.
whatever.
Just some.
One way.
So you keep it that wide.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like, if you see it that wide, it's because of that.
Right.
So that thing's going, so either a double arrow or.
You might be able to mess with the geometry like a little bit to make it so you can still get it, because even the trucks are like really just gonna need to get in too, emergency vehicles getting in, I think would be the
Yeah, I mean, I guess they could,
major concern, so.
they could enter in here probably, and go around and come back out. So, could make it narrower possible. I guess it'll have to be a conversation with
the fire department,
Mike.
yeah.
Or with Captain Frazier.
So if we're not gonna do the site walk, how about scheduling the public hearing?
The 29th would work.
29th would work.
I'm okay with that.
So we are not doing the site walk. We're gonna let the fire department and staff help you with that. So we will have the public hearing and followed by application review that night, Angela, correct?
Yes.
So just for process sake, so it's public hearing and then site review, site application review. That's it,
Yeah,
right?
for, after the comments, if anything comes up, then we can either approve or disapprove the application. And go to-
Table it. Right.
We'll
Yeah,
continue it to
table
another
approve the
meeting. or
conditions.
further.
Yeah, depending on, what happens on the
Public comment is gonna
public comments, yeah.
be the,
Yeah, we could send out notices for DEP in anticipation of filing a DEP application. We didn't get anything back, any sort of letters or anything, but we'll obviously send out for the town.
Yep.
I'll have to coordinate with you on specifics.
Three people on the call.
Yeah, we did have
So they,
a public informational meeting via Zoom and no one joined.
No, you're all set. You've got a public hearing and your next meeting is set up.
Great.
Thank you for
Thank you.
Thank you.
presenting your stuff.
There's no workshop, is there?
Oh, yeah.
They need you for this, don't they? Mike's trying to leave in the workshop again.
Hey,
We gotta put the workshop at the beginning next time, so Mike has to do it.
see you at 7:30.
Next item on the agenda, Waterboro Safe Storage, findings of spec review and acceptance. Did everybody get a chance
Yeah.
to read those? We'll give these guys a second to.
No, because I just printed them out and handed them out to you.
I got them off the silly website, so. Of course, now I don't know what I did with them, but
Thank you.
thank you. I'm gonna blame my acceptance and approval on my new Invisalign stuff.
There you go.
It's that fault. It's messing up my speaking.
somebody get a 3D printer of it?
Yeah, it kind of sounds like it.
Yes.
Plotter maybe?
Where are you? I'll just get back to my findings. Okay, did everybody look these over yet? Or do we have to go through them one by one?
The only changes that I can tell you that have to be changed effective today would be signed by you instead of Mr. Zelmanow.
I didn't find anything, so.
We're good.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything.
You didn't see anything, so other than that, Angela, on me signing it instead, I'm going to make a motion to approve the findings of fact as written and corrected.
I will second that.
Clyde seconded it. All in favor? 5-0. Are there any communications for tonight?
Yep.
Good.
At 1:30 this afternoon, I received an email from Edward Zelmanow. Can you please forward to the rest of the planning board? After much consideration and based upon the increased time I find myself needing to devote to both my personal and business life, I believe it is best that I resign from the planning board effective immediately. I thank you all for the opportunity to serve the town, and I wish everyone the best. Ed.
Thank you, Angela.
Thank you.
So we'll be looking for another member or two members.
They're scheduled to meet with the board.
Okay.
As luck would have it, we have two meetings with the selectmen on Tuesday.
Okay. Any miscellaneous items? I have nothing. Nope. May I have a motion to adjourn?
No. You moved your minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot all about those.
That's all right. They're not minutes though.
Well,
Exactly.
they're actually non-minutes. We didn't have meetings on the 4th.
That's correct.
We didn't have a meeting on the 18th.
Correct.
Is the board in agreement that these can be entered into the record as written?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
My only question was did we ever?
No, I haven't given you updated April.
Okay. So those will make
Yes.
next agenda.
Maybe we're lucky.
Okay. Now, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Quick motion to adjourn.
Rebecca made the motion. May I have a second? Clyde seconded. All in favor? 5-0.